is the world's biggest luxury brand and one of the most storied names in fashion. And now African-American designer Virgil Abloh has been appointed artistic director for Louis Vuitton's menswear division. Abloh is the first designer of color to hold such a high-profile position at LVMH. A collaborator of Kanye West, Abloh's own label, Off-White, has been one of fashion's most talked-about new brands. In announcing his appointment, LVMH praised both his creativity and, quote, disruptive approach. Lamar Johnson, a culture and luxury brand executive, and has followed Abloh's rise. Lamar, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
So what's LVMH talking about when they talk about his disruptive approach, and why is that important to a brand like Louis Vuitton?
You know, I think that when they reference his disruptive approach, they're referring to his very unique designs, sort of avant-garde approach to design, and his connections to the fashion world and culture world. Obviously, he has a long-standing relationship with Kanye West as a collaborator and business partner, and so I think this is just the extension of that work and that reputation. And Louis Vuitton certainly saw the potential in him from a design perspective, and also from a relevance perspective, and I think that's why they made the choice that they did.
Is it important, and not just symbolically, but is it important that Virgil Abloh is a man of color?
I think so.
In that position?
I definitely think it's important that he's a person of color in such a high-profile position. I think he may only be the third person of color, male of color, to hold such a high position at a major fashion house. There were two before him, Oswald Boateng in his role from 2003 to 2007 with Givenchy, and Olivier Rousteing, who has a similar role with Balmain.
So in these legacy fashion houses, they're obviously, they keep the names going. The original names are long gone, and they're constantly searching for new talent. You talked about the originality of Abloh's designs and his approach. What do you think he will bring to the LVMH brand? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, he'll certainly bring relevance. You know, I think luxury brands of the caliber of Louis Vuitton or Givenchy or Gucci walk a fine line between their heritage and their history and the risk that they run of being kind of stodgy and old.
Right.
And so from a relevance perspective, I think a Virgil Abloh appointment, I think, drives relevance, drives eyeballs that perhaps otherwise wouldn't have been paying attention to what Louis Vuitton will be doing. And also from a geographic perspective, I think his appointment can open up other consumers' eyes, perhaps in emerging markets like Asia and Africa, in terms of luxury marketing and luxury brands and their appeal.
I mean, you know this world very well. How difficult is it for young men and women of color to succeed?
I think it's virtually impossible. I say virtually because it's clearly not impossible, given that Virgil has made it and several others have over these years. But I think it's an uphill climb and a tough aspiration to have. Virgil comes from a very unique background in terms of having been an architecture major in school. I think his mother was a seamstress, and so I don't think that people have the expectation that someone with that background would necessarily be at the helm of such a prominent luxury brand. But his story is unique, and I think it again drives eyeballs and drives attention to the Louis Vuitton brand.
We've got about 30 seconds left. Louis Vuitton has been a very successful brand. They grew 13% last year. What kind of pressure will be on him to succeed?
I think there'll be big pressure and high expectations on Virgil in terms of success from a business perspective. But given his track record with the Off-White brand and his collaborations with other brands like Nike, I think he'll do well. And I would imagine that Louis Vuitton has the expectations that he will do well from a commercial perspective.
Lamar Johnson, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.